library tour that I shared. Thank you for hanging in there. Yes, long. And I know I'm not the only one that had a long library tour. I've watched many, and I appreciate them, especially being detailed. But that being said, reading incentive. I am a big reading fanatic, and I tend to put a lot of emphasis on reading and over the top, with it, and I do anything to encourage the children to read. And fortunately, they have been early readers, lovers of reading. Yes, excuse my voice, still have laryngitis a little bit, but I'm gonna muddle through this. So I'm going to share with you some incentives, and I use a couple of these just for different things, but the gist of it. Okay, we have tickets, and I'm going to have to show you. I'll have to go hunt some down because they're in the books. But this is one of our incentive tickets for reading. This is a golden ticket, and this one basically says the first rule of the golden ticket is there is no golden ticket. The second rule of the golden ticket is there is no rule to the golden ticket. Or there is no golden ticket, I'm sorry. In other words, because I had to reword it. In other words, don't tell people about the golden ticket. Just take your golden ticket to mom in the library and claim your prize. Great job choosing a book that hasn't been checked out in quite a while. And this is something that we used to do at school with the kids, and in public school, and it worked great, and it worked with my older children. So I use it now, and I will show you some more of them in a few minutes. Goodness gracious. So multi-level. I also use the seals, book seals. So in some of their books, or just sometimes when I see that they have read a book, I will give them a seal, and they will basically deliver an oral book report. So the title of the book, and it says earns my seal of approval because, and they tell us why they enjoy that book and why everyone else should read it. So great little incentive, and they like the fact that they get to, it's like a share and tell, and it develops their language skills and their comprehension, because they go back and kind of retell the story, and things like that, give their own opinion of it and what they thought would happen when they picked the book up versus how the story actually played out. And then hi, just a second. So seals, like I said, sometimes I place them in their hands after I see, and sometimes I place them in the book. And along with the seals, once they deliver their report, they earn a book. And once they get 2 or 3 bucks, depending on the level of book, they can trade it in. And usually if it's one, they can trade it in for something like a sucker. I keep Dum Dum Pops, and those are just the go-to. But I also keep things like cute pencils, erasers, what's the big one? Balloons. They love balloons. So depending on how many they have, they may get one balloon or they may get a whole bag to themselves. And balloons are what, $1 a bag? They love balloons. So little things like that is what we work on. And then let's see. Like I said, it works very well. And let me show you. Okay, before I explain the next incentive, let me show you. Okay, okay, I keep one in because the little ones have their reading book, and I know that they're constantly going to read it. I have cleverly, this is the one they're almost finished with. Okay, so there's a ticket right there. Okay, so this is the last story in this book. Now this is a sapphire ticket. The other one was golden, and I'll show you some more in a minute. This one says, "You have just found a sapphire ticket. Shh. Finding this ticket is a secret. Take your ticket to Mom in the library and claim your prize. You found this ticket because you chose to try a new book. Please read this book and tell us what you think." Okay, so there's that one. Now there is also like this. There's only one golden ticket. It doesn't, the golden ticket does not change the price or anything. It just, I came up with the golden ticket first, and then I thought of the different levels. So let me see, there's ruby, and there's also emerald. So let's see, I think there's one on this table. I'm trying to remember what book I put it in. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's in one of these biscuit books. I'm trying to do this quietly. Not in that one. It's got to be in the other one. Yep. Okay, so there's a ruby ticket. Like I said, it's the same wording as the other one. And so pretty much I go around the room, and not specifically all the books that I see them read. Some of them are pretty random, but I know they are on to Little Bill books. And I think there's one in here. Let's see. Nope. Oh, yes, there is. There's a ruby ticket. And let's see. Go back here. I mean, you could write them down. I just kind of remember off the top of my head. Yeah, there's an emerald ticket in this one. And so I just typed it up on Word doc. I have a ticket template, and I use my colored paper to print off the tickets, and I just keep a supply of them because sometimes they go missing. I don't laminate them. There's no need to, and I don't have to keep names on the tickets. I log them. That way I know whose is whose. If somebody, they turn them back in, so they're not keeping them. But, I mean, if you wanted to do that and they would get lost, then, at least you have a log of where the ticket is and who earned it. I think there's one in the science book down here, Night Science for Kids. Another emerald. I'll put that back in a minute. Let me see. So different genres is where I actually keep them, and I move them around so that they're not always pulling the same books. They're random, and they're not, telling everybody. And they're very unpredictable, and they're good about, because I explained to them what it was. There's a golden ticket. They know the rule of the game. And they know that it's not that if they found this book and it goes back on the shelf, I'm going to take the ticket. It's not going to go back in this book anymore, because they already know, because most of the time they're selecting books, everybody's in the room, or at least one other person, so then they're going to know, hey, the ticket's in that book. So I don't do it that way. Hold on. Oh no. So the rest of the incentive is in lieu of the little trinkets and the book buck, and I use it also for the high school level. So that's the good thing about this. It's multi-level or multi-grade. You don't have to just stick with little ones on this, because you just need to change your incentives, but I wouldn't increase too much. Try to keep the prizes kind of on the same level. So let me show you. So if they get a ticket, they sometimes, instead of whatever, they will get another ticket as their prize. And so family game night, and then they get to play a game with mom, dad, or both of us, and it's just us. So that's always a treat. They get to choose the game. And then the other one is family movie night. So it's kind of like a parent date night with the child, and everybody else does not get to join unless they invite everybody else. And most of the time they do, because they want to bring a friend. So we don't exclude. But you could also use this as a means of taking a child out, independently. That's a good way to get some time in with that one child. That one, they know they have that coming, because they earned it honestly. So, but go all out, do the popcorn and the candy, or ice cream sundaes or whatever, to make it special. To say, yes, you read, you earned this, no matter how big or how small the book is, they earned it. Now, what happens is, still, if it's a book, a bedtime story, and they've chosen, and it has a ticket, everybody will get the prize, because parents, one of us is reading that book to them collectively, so they all end up with a book. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I've seen tons of different methods and incentives and things like that, and they do work, tried and true. They do work. It keeps them reading, it keeps them motivated. And as we move up, to different chapter books and things like that, I will encourage them to, to go forth and continue to read, because they never know. And then eventually it will turn into, they will trade books for another book of their choosing. So So that has always been great. I had
I kept on trying to get Lily.
younger ones, or when my older ones were younger, they were on, series of books. Like one of them was on, what is it, the Biscuit books. And so every time they completed one and they earned their book, and they wanted to trade it for a book, they would get a new Biscuit book or a new Junie B. Jones. That was another one. And, it really, really motivated them to keep on top of it. So I'm looking forward to exploring that with the little ones. But like I said, this still, holds up. I have a high schooler that is also earning reading incentives because his books are chapter books and they are a lot longer and more literature and things like that. And occasionally I will throw them into his curriculum text as well, because he gets, it motivates him. And like I said, whatever to get him through that chapter, it's like, hey, it's a win-win. If you would like any more comments, or if you would like any more tips, if I didn't explain anything well, or something well, just leave it in the comments. If you have a reading incentive, please let me know whether or not, even if you don't vlog and leave a link, you can still explain it to me. I'm always interested and open to new ideas. And hopefully this was helpful. You enjoyed this video and incorporate this into your curriculum or into your family library, because not just homeschool but reading in general, literacy all around. So thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow.